As if we hadn't had enough action here for the FACEIT Global Summit, it is the final game. The final circle will descend on Erangel to find out who becomes our FACEIT Global Summit champion. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, around the world, and welcome here in the audience in London as well, as we are about to find ourselves a Global Summit champion. My name's Kyle Harris, and to my right-hand side, Toffees and Avenger, as always. Boys, it is time to end this thing, and we have a 6-point divide between first and sixth. Never mind any of the teams that if they have a huge game, could quite easily rocket up there as well. It's still all to play for Avenger here at the FACEIT Global Summit.
It's extremely close, and I did not expect it to be this close. We have 12 games here, but then again, there's teams that have been amazing on Miramar, teams that's been amazing in Erangel, and there's the teams that's kind of good all around. So that's why we have these teams extremely close. But VSG, currently at the top. you like
your
that,
boys, as you like to say.
That's the ones.
I mean, but you know, you were a little predictive. You had this vibe coming in that they were going to do well, and I think part of that is they come with the aggression. They're not afraid to fight, and that's been the staple of the tournament for me. Teams like Armory, teams like VSG, teams that are willing to go out there, send lead downfield, or if you're in Star-Lord's case, send one piece of lead downfield and get the kill every time. That's who comes out on top, a willingness to take risks. Honestly, to me, it's just like when you play casual games at home, it's the same idea. Being willing to take the shot instead of too scared to do it will always increase that ELO and make you a better player, and it's made teams better here at this event.
And don't worry, gents, once VSG wins, you'll never hear the end of it from me. It's going to be exciting. Let's check in with the Twitter poll as well, as we have polled the Twitterverse to find out who you guys think is going to be winning. And that is a resounding Team Liquid victory when it comes to that poll, as the fans are out in full force here to support Team Liquid. This is actually our top 3 teams currently in the standings, and there are a lot of Team Liquid fans out there. And, you know, aptly, I think that they have been literally legends of the PUBG universe for a long time. You think back to PGI when they were able to take the position that they did when it came to FPP. Obviously,
they made a rush change coming into this. Scrum is now out here with us, and
he's
now
our boy.
He's our boy now. And obviously also reciprocity's boy. But now they've made this the twin team with the Nate God himself, the European Nate God himself so far. He hasn't redeemed himself to the worldwide yet. James and Ibiza, of course. And I'm looking forward to see if these guys can actually pull up, because they made this team, they made this rush change in hopes of becoming the world's best.
Yeah, and I mean, that's exactly what they said. If you are in second place after the World Championships, you have to make a change. You have to say, we're not good enough to be first. Let's figure out what the problem was. I don't believe that the problem was Scum, but I do believe that they felt they needed the synergy that came with bringing Sampy and Jempty together. It seems like they have found that, and this team has been on the rise.
Let's take a look at the overall leaderboard once again to re-jog everyone's memories out there as to what is at stake, as well as where we can actually accrue points here when it comes to the overall standings. 86 points at the moment for OP Gaming Rangers. They had a little bit of a lull when it came to some of those points earnings. However, they are back at the top once again. But biting at their heels, Liquid and VSG. Hell, Armory Gaming, Shoot to Kill, OG and Entus Force, they're all very much in the running here to try and take that spot.
Coming into this last game with VSG coming out on top, this is going to be a momentum change for them. They're going to be rolling off that. We heard in an interview, they're not going to see anybody and not take a fight against them. They know they need these kills. The tiebreaker as well, the kills. Liquid has 6 more. If this comes down to the top 3 regions where Liquid is coming out on top with that compared to VSG, it doesn't matter because OP Rangers are already up there. So remember, it's the top 3 regions that are gaining an extra spot for the PGC in November.
Yeah, and I think that is a big part of it, but the points are so close right now. Almost everyone's just going to be focused on who takes home the $150,000.
And the very heavy trophy.
Rights. Yeah, the heavy trophy and the bragging rights. This is going to set the momentum. It's the last time that we globally come together before PGI next time around. There's going to be some regionals. There's going to be some chances to sort of cut your teeth and test your muscle. But this is the moment that when everyone gathers again for PGI, we're going to look at this and say, you proved that you were the best of the best, and you're the one everyone's going to be chasing.
Do you see any big shifts going on into this last game, or does everyone just focus, play their game,
I see huge shifts. I'm honestly, the top 7 teams, they're not going to be playing as they usually do. They're playing a bit more low down, make sure they get into a great position in the end game, and then start fragging out. They're not going to take any chances. We've seen kind of the changes in the Liquid rotations, but they are always very good at their rotations. But I'm very curious to see Liquid going into this last match. Are they going to do changes? What's going to happen? Because this is the big change for them.
Final thoughts, starting with you, Avenger. Who takes the tournament?
This is a hard one. Honestly, I think I'll count the OP Gaming Rangers out from here because honestly they have been mediocre today. They need to take a win. But I think honestly VSG could take the win.
Short thoughts.
You asked me on day one who you thought was going to win this thing, and I said it wouldn't be a global without Toffee's throwing his considerable weight behind Team Liquid. They are on a run. They are killing it right now, and I can't wait to see what they bring to this. I mean, $150,000, 64 players, 24 teams, 9 regions, 6 days. And only 1 champion, Kalaris.
And we all know who I think that's going to be. Let's get into it then. It's the final game here of the FACEIT Global Summit. London, make the ground shake. It's time for Erangel once again as we head over to Pansy and Sims for all of the action.
Thank you. It is indeed the last chance to dance for some of these teams. They have to give it all right here, right now. There's no more time left. There's no more do-overs. There's no more doing it again. There's no more regretting. There's just the next match in front of them.
And I tell you what else there is. 6 points separating 6 teams from PUBG glory. The last map is underway. Make sure you tweet this stream. Use the hashtag FACEIT Global Summit to get as many eyes from as many different regions on this game. In history, we've never seen something come down to the wire so close.
We need to look out for all the teams that could potentially cause threats, especially towards that top 5, top 6. VSG already out the plane. NIP out there as well. No one really looking too dangerous so far. We are looking at where Liquid go in these situations. Do they dare go back to Pachinki? They changed it up and went Milta before. The Rangers going where we'd kind of expect potentially. Again, it's still eyes on the drop here. Richard, who are you looking at?
I think you have to look at the top 6 at the end of the day. The plane path's pretty good. It's going to cut us across the middle and give everyone a decent home position. Samti is actually away from the rest of Team Liquid. Liquid, it paid off last time going down to Milta Power, so they'll find the feet on the ground once again. The Rangers, they want to go home. They want to head down to Sosnovka Island, and oh boy, do they need the circle to come their way. Because in the early starts of this competition, they were struggling. They literally qualified for the grand finals in the very last match. Circle hits. My word. What a punishment it will be for anybody on the eastern bank or who wants to look towards Sosnovka. A fair amount of water, and we are heading home to Georgia Paul. And I tell you what, guess who's up there? It's Star-Lord and VSG.
If there was ever a circle for them, it was gonna be this one. You can't paint a better picture for them. But who does this throw the spanner in the works for?
The hardest part becomes the transition now. Do you want to play spoiler? We have to look toward STK. Now for them, they want some national pride. They want to pick up that spot for North America. They've got a lot of work to do here, and they have the room to do it. You would say that that circle would shift more towards the south, but the question is, do they sit in the north? Do they become the North American bouncers that denies any access to this circle? From up around the Stalba, the Severny regions, if you want to take that swing, which we've seen in many regions, if you're looting Milta Power, if you're looting Lipovka, a circle like this, why bother heading straight west and feeding yourself into teams that are going to be waiting there hungry with open arms? You want to try and avoid those fights. You want to head up north and maybe find somewhere that's a little less crowded. But this, for any team now at this stage, is not going to be an easy task.
No, it is really not. There's just so much potential here. There's so many potential moves these teams can do. AG are moving already. They are off. They do not take their time. They do not loot slowly. They clearly have their routes incredibly defined by this point. they are moving in towards a circle. 17 Gaming have sent Monkey King early, maybe eyeing up a compound they'd like to take, or potentially an area they want to dominate late game, or just use as a rotation point and keep someone safe. We see a little bit of a back and forth between 4AM and Cloud9 towards Roadhog, but no full commitments to the fights. As Team Liquid, sadly for them, they are very far out of this circle. I think that's going to bode very poorly. I'm curious to see how they come out of this one, if they have an avenue of approach in mind.
I know we focus on who do we need to see do well, who do we need to see go big, but the amount of times we see in PUBG, it comes down to the final game and your number 1 seed will just go bottoming out in 16th. And then that's when it opens up the table. That's when it's literally game on, let's go for it. G2 in the PEL. Unfortunately, I have to bring it up. I know they won't like it, but very last game, bottomed out, and that opened it up for Winstrike to make it here into the grand final. So for those teams, let's remind ourselves at the moment, everybody who's above 80 points enters STK, AG, VSG, Liquid and Rangers. 81, 83, 84 for both Liquid and VSG, 86 for Rangers. 6 mere points between 6 different teams. If any of those go down in below 10th place, in my opinion, they can kiss the trophy goodbye. It's gone.
Yeah, I'm 100% in with you on that one. YY going to be joining up with Monkey King. Monkey King did head there earlier, and I think a little bit of pressure coming in from Tempo Storm towards the west did put them on their toes, going to put them on notice a little bit here. A couple of the other teams starting to work their way forward. Cloud9 began their rotation route out of Roadhog towards the west. They worked their way forward. Sharky not far off. Again, most of Tempo Storm kind of playing around this area. Nothing too unheard of or too surprising. They're going to be consolidating themselves towards a compound they desire. And everyone else going to consider, how do we get to this new circle as safely as possible?
So teams who you would suggest are on home turf, NIP, but really, with all due respect, what can NIP do at this stage in the game when you're down in 15th? Winstrike, they know the terrain pretty well over on the west coast. Tempo Storm, North America's #1 roster. Don't count them out just yet. Yes, they're not in reaching distance of the trophy, but they're still a bunch of individually good fraggers and could do some damage to some of these top teams should they meet up with them. C9, they've got caught off guard. AG, no knock outside the back of the vehicle. There will be a little tap onto the side of Profi as he works his way up, but unfortunately they'll land themselves on the back side of this Lobes. That's a good answer back. Duckmans goes down. That's a big fragger and a big scout taken away, but there is a response here. K-Mine, he's followed up. Honboya, he sees him on the angle. Nerf will try and read this one well. Honboya, unfortunately, the first victim of this game.
This is AG potentially suffering here. General has responded towards Cloud9, but Cloud9 aren't really in a threatening position towards the top 5, but General is being fed points. K-Mine going down is pretty big. Now, Nerf and Lobes can try and do some more damage, but with AG potentially dropping out this early or looking a little worse for wear, this can open up again that top 4, top 5 position to new teams coming in. Potentially even shoot to kill could benefit off the back of this. General now gets knocked, and it's looking good for Cloud9 to be a real disruptive force.
If they go down now, this would be utter insanity. That nade, it's posted through the delivery box. And damage.
Nerf's
He's
going.
crawling for dear life, and I think the call's been made, Lauren. They have to make a push on this. There's one man standing. Finish him off while they're down.
Nerf's going in. Who's left standing? It's just Duckman's trying to get the revive in. That's about it. If he can find his way through that window, if he can find the avenue of approach, the angle he wants, he can do something. Lobes goes down, but Nerf is still going. He's still being aggressive. This is dangerous times. Duckman, he goes down. AG, you're out.
It's happened. One of the top 4 teams coming into this has bottomed out in 16th position. STK have just been handed a wild card from Cloud9. This could potentially jump them, which means the North American dream may still be there.
My God, that is... Okay, shoot to kill. Suddenly it's eyes on them. They were down, I think, in 5th below AG by not many points. All shoot to kill have to do is play safe. Okay, we're going to jump in really quickly with the reporters, hear what they have to say. What have you guys spotted out there?
I think it's pretty much what you were about to talk about. Shoot to kill setting up this bridge camp. 4AM coming in there. Team Liquid are coming into the exact same route as well. These are all the teams in that top 6 fighting for position. 4AM getting very close to it while Enters go on a deep south run. Back to you.
Well, let's see how this goes down. We do see that bridge camp in place. It has been set up. There's still other routes available. Teams on that western side are trying to get to position, but we have to keep in the back of our minds. Shoot to Killer would have seen that in the kill feed. They know what's going on. They'll understand the situation they are now in. The prospect that has just been gifted to them on a plate, potentially. It is there. Team Liquid far in the north. Envy not too far away. Rotation route relatively similar, but James is a little further ahead. He might catch up to 4AM. He could feed into that shoot to kill problem.
They have to be very careful. Again, they have set up early by going across on the opposing side. They're pausing and splitting in 2 packs, or STK, and reading this one well in case anyone wants to try and approach them from behind. But the problem is, Lauren, by doing this, Envy is literally next door for them. If they hear this, they could swing in for Envy. With all due respect, they're bottom, they're 16th. What the hell do they have to lose? If they can take out some players, this for them is just a bit of a public match. They might as well go ham and have some fun.
4AM are going to set up on the other side of the bridge, shoot to kill, or on the opposing side, the kind of isolated little building that just you kind of see before you get to the crates at Georgia Pole. Envy are in a position to engage, especially with that Car 98 as well. They have potential to really be a nuisance towards 4AM. I'm looking at Team Liquid finding their avenue across the bridge. Shoot to kill could see it, whether or not they can act upon it is a different matter. There's the circle shift.
So circle's in. Liquid are about to make their approach here. 2 bridges, 2 teams, both within the top 3, VSG and Liquid. VSG will take the western bank from George. They'll head their way down through the back 6, front 6. Liquid, they have a good avenue of approach here. They'll be able to run it by crates. It all depends, though. Where do STK set up? What does 4AM do? What does Envy do? Where do these backlines meet? Oh, wait a minute, 4AM, Liquid. There might be a crash here, potentially. God. Liquid driving forward, 4AM are right behind them. If they pull up here, they'll be able to pressure this. Liquid, they'll take the high ground for now. Jemty, is he going to do anything? No, actually 4AM might.
They're still going.
They might run into the backlines of STK here. Godv's fallen off the back of the vehicle. Uncivil opens up.
Yeah, this is deadly. Godv's gone down. That shoot to kill, claiming points as well. Big for the North American side. Racking up points as they go, and they want more of that. They want to see that all the time. ZGG still there, Forever still there, but CPT is looking worse for wear.
Well, now they've managed to find a placement inside this circle.
Yeah,
it's
but
going to be on top
Liquid
of the
falling
hill.
from the hill.
Yeah, they have to be careful though they don't overextend, because Envy, if they've got scopes, they might be able to punch them from the back line. 17's just below them, and so is Tempo Storm. So the problem is for Liquid off the back of this circle, Lauren, if this doesn't go their way, let's say this goes all the way south, really? How do you get down from the mountain without going past a team?
I have no idea. I've never been a huge fan of it, but what do I know? There we go. We are going to keep the rankings, the current standings up there for you a hell of a lot during this, because it makes sense. You want to understand the overall picture, and you're looking towards that top 3 position, really. They're the big names you're going to be eyeing up here.
VSG have actually been forced into an engagement. They came across
They're all tied
at the same time. Yeah, we'll come down. That will be based off of kills. So at the moment, I believe it's actually Liquid who's in second. Perpendicular to it was Rangers at the top, then Liquid, then VSG. But again,
this is scary.
We'll monitor this on the point situation. When placements come in, we'll be able to keep that updated. But I really want to quickly talk about VSG, because they're the ones who did damage to Liquid, and coming off the back of this, they'll be fired up. They just had a win under the belt. But they are very, very split. And I'm also seeing some players, they've fallen back to the remnants of Georgia Pole, or the start of it as you enter it. They're still looting, so that would suggest to me that maybe they didn't get the gear they were hoping for. They're playing this for the long con, so to speak. But again, NIP, Windstrike, and Aerowolf, they all know they're there, essentially. So they're in the same tricky scenario as Liquid is. Once this circle goes, what's the play?
Where do you go? Yeah, I'm a little worried, as you said, Liquid and 4AM and all the teams kind of on that hillside is that even if you get one clean fight, one clean engagement, you're going to have potentially teams behind you. And it looks like Cloud9 are going to be one of those teams. They've already been the destroyers of AG. Will they ruin anyone else's hopes within that top 3 position?
A team that we haven't spoke about, OP Rangers. They started off on Millie base, and they've worked their way up to central of this circle. They'll take that plateau right in the middle of the cornfield. You can lay down, nobody can see you, you can bunker down here, but
they are under fire.
They are under fire. Look at how much utility they are already committing to. This is early game. To be putting down, what, 4 or 5 smokes already and already taking damage.
Where is James off to as well? We're seeing James in the vehicle going right past 4AM, and it's a northern shift. This has pushed it very, very close by. James looks like he's in trouble as well. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out of this one. 4AM are unleashing a lot of pressure towards him. This could keep their attention while AB and Jemty try and save him. Envy are about to clash with Cloud9. That's a terrifying battle on the east as well that could come to fruition. We're looking across the board here, that western shift. The Rangers are moving right up towards VSG, towards Windstrike. Tempo Storm getting a couple of bullets towards him. Bit of a compound crash here, as NIP are going to be trying to keep back the VSG team. This is going to be, and Windstriker joining in from the back lines.
Yeah, this is third-party galore here. There's no respite whatsoever. You want to try and take this on. Tixu sees them. Eyeline dead to rights. Gaxi holds the doorway for now. And they'll have to make an approach on this. They have to remove NIP from this compound. Should they want to take it, they control 2 points. We need to take a look
That's
once we've done this.
towards Babo.
Oh, that's big, because that's your number 1 team
Correct.
being taken down by the potential 5th spot in this one. So they should be jumping up the leaderboard slowly but surely if they're bagging frags.
Yeah, that was Babo, I think, trying to be a little bit of a scout on his own. He pushed up towards Shoot to Kill. He was to the eastern side of the hospital. But there are 4, potentially 5 teams about to be on this mountainside, and there's not that much room for all of them. Samti spots out Profi, but there will be responses left, right, and center, so they have to be careful. Incognito are pulling up to the south side of this. The nade goes in. Profi, the bounce, just too short.
4 teams set up on the mountainside. Nobody
That one's better.
be taking a trek
There it
up.
is.
The nade god himself. What a time to land a Kobe. It's on to Profit. That should be a confirmation of C9's player. Look for a point coming through rather quickly. Again, Nerf being held dead to rights here by Liquid. Kings of the Mountain at the moment,
That's
but they don't
points for
want to
Team
get
Liquid.
too exposed. This is...
Wait, VSG just got... Wait, we just seen a nade come through from the NIP side.
That was him holding at the top of the
He
third on the
was
stairwell.
holding the top of that kind of compound. Like it's just that isolated building on its own. Team Liquid are taking fights everywhere. There is that kind of balancing act of this hillside where you don't want to take too many fights and split yourself too thin, but you still want to show aggression, pressure, and have the know-all. And oh my God, we're seeing Gaxi go off. That's 1-2 down. That's the confirmation on the player who got knocked earlier. VSG are in danger.
Gaxi, the ninjas in pajamas.
Is it just Star-Lord left, Richard?
It's either 1 or 2, that's for sure. We've seen 2 follow up. And again, there might be down bottom of the table, but the stool still doing work for Europe. It isn't. Okay, there's 3 alive. They got 1 back. There's a nade coming up through the window. Hulk's damage, Lobes and Nerf. They hit the deck. They're gone, unfortunately. That grenade could be beautiful, though.
It's gone in.
It is. He got
It's
him.
good. It's good for 1. Vard's there now. You've got the support coming through. The nades raining through the windows. Hulk is down. He cannot be picked up. 1-2 is low. Star-Lord is watching his team be ripped limb from limb with the nade. Star-Lord is your last man standing. The last bastion on the stairs. The tag is good, but the frag is better. And they're gone.
3rd place, gone. 4th place, gone. Team Liquid in the meanwhile, Lauren, they've been picking up frags. They've moved to number 1.
The Rangers are still standing. They are holding 2nd place, but that 3rd spot for a regional base and anyone else is open. You're looking at Shoot to Kill. You're looking at Entus. 4 AM, I guess to a degree, Windstrike are pulling up on NIP.
Windstrike are going to breach this one. Try and pick up a few frags along the way. Timmy does have the backlines here. Grenade just by the side of the container. Vard gonna step on a landmine, manages to get away as you cop for it. He's already damaged, but at least denies the explosion. Cover fire from the backlines as well. Gaxi, what? He hit him through the window. Look at how far that was.
Absolute beast, Gaxi, but we're seeing all the teams start moving in now. This compound is getting crashed left, right, and center. Miraku's pulled up. Jorski's already found Vard. He's gone down. MBS wants to save the day, try and save his team, but they're not gifting him opportunities. He can't find a way through here. And it looks like Windstrike have really been a nuisance. And Aerowolf are joining in the sidelines. He's forced to fight the prone. He takes down 1. MBS desperate to stay alive for his side, but Aerowolf have just turned up.
That's a 300-meter shot coming out of Gaxi. He caused Windstrike all kinds of problems. All of a sudden, AW1, grenades are out. They're ready to go. They need to make a push on this. They know Nip is damaged. They're not out just yet.
Samti just got knocked.
That was an accidental kill, I think. He went for the NIP and it bounced off the back and took him down.
We've got Team Liquid in trouble. We've got to head over. This is Entus engaging towards Team Liquid. Samti's gone down. Ibby got knocked. This could be dangerous. Envy are on the way as well. We're down to Jeems and Jempty. This might be so many dreams dashed here. This is not the time to fall if you're Team Liquid. You needed to hold on further. This opens things up.
Oh, no.
And here comes Envy. Here comes all the other teams. You have Entus behind them, Envy in front. You've got 17 Gaming not far off. This gets very scary. Incognito waiting in the wings. And this battle, this bloodbath continues.
So Envy has been distracted. STK has an eye line on. Oh no, oh no.
They're not that distracted.
Incognito, Envy, everybody is encroaching on Liquid's position. There's only 2 men left, surrounded by 4 teams, even 7 teams on the opposing side.
He's got one, but he gets traded on. There's nothing more he can do. Surely this is over. James is your last man alive here. He is king of the hill, but the king might lose his crown any second now. Shoot to Kill have just joined in and helped out. That might alleviate some of the pressure, but I don't see a way out. The nades are raining in. James is down. Liquid hopes a dash. That's 12th place.
What do you even say?
So many of our top 5 already.
This is basically now opens it up to the Rangers.
Certainly does. Entus as well, pushing further forward. They get themselves into a 3rd position here. They're up on the points. Keep your eyes on that bar because they're on 85. That's big, but Envy do not want that. They don't want anyone getting further ahead in this. 17 Gaming as well joining in. Where have these guys come from? Monkey King from out of nowhere finding one as Entus keep racking up points, but not without casualty.
This is a 4-way split. 17 turn up to the party. It might be late, but it's never too soon as they do some damage to the back lines and force Entus' hands. Interrogate takes out Yak. So there is a response there at least. Still on the opposing side, 4AM waiting in the distance. Indigo and Yak hit the deck. Juicy, he answers back. Interrogate. Entus. Another top team is gone.
We have lost out on AG, VSG, Team Liquid, Entus. The only ones still alive up there are the Rangers. This opens it up so badly for STK. They have to capitalize. This is their chance to do it. They have so many players alive. If there was a moment for them, it is now.
And they certainly want out actually winning this entire thing.
They could do it.
They could do it. They were only 6 points away, but they need to be careful. There isn't much maneuverability here.
No.
Yes, you can take the tree lines, but there's no real defensive stance. You can use the hill, which they are doing. One player, it's going to be Adam, will advance forward. Purdy Curdy's there as well. This ridge might be the saving grace they need directly in front of them. However, it might be 2 teams, but they're engaged with one another. It's NIP and AW. If Aerowolf 1 go down or NIP, this kind of opens it up for STK to make a move on them.
And this battle's been going on since that fight on the hill before then. This has been just that back and forth posturing. The Rangers have watched all this go down, seeing all of that competition fall around. They're being passive by nature. They do not want to die early, and they've succeeded in that aspect. But they're all locked in on 86 points.
OP Rangers, it's time to move. They'll get a ridgeline here. This is still the battle for the mountain, 4AM. They've been waiting downwind, hoping people would come their way, and finally, it's time to make a maneuver. 17 and Incognito. For STK, this is easy points, Pansy. They can see them across and pick these boys off. If they do, points make prizes, and they'll be working their way up the leaderboard off the frags alone.
Watch the kill feed, watch the leaderboard. They're currently in 4th, and they can jump so quickly. Already 4 kills to the name, making it 5 now. Up they go slowly, getting closer and closer to your Entus, to your Rangers, to your Liquid. This is North America putting up a position potentially. This is huge. Ronan holding that hillside. 17 Gaming feeling the dangerous end of that gun already as Shox tries to push him off the angle, but the aim is still good.
And for North America on the opposing side, we haven't touched them. Tempo Storm are bunkering down in a building. They might be able to eliminate AFF. That's in the distance. It's still, we have to keep a focus on this one at the moment because all these bodies, it depends where they go, which team picks them up. OP Rangers are in the distance. Nobody can see them, but they can't see anybody else.
Shoot to Kill just jumped. They're up in 3rd already. They've just jumped over Entus, and they are racking up points. Monkey King going down. That is big for them. 17 Gaming trying to peel off the hill, already falling by the wayside. 4AM are holding the lower side of this. Tempo Storm do take down AFF.
STK have jumped it. They're at the top. I feel for OPR at the moment, they can't do anything. If they work their way out of the field, they have to stand by and watch all this unfold. They'll turn up to the late game and have to finish off whatever's left.
4AM getting a couple of points beside them. AFF trying to find something back towards Tempo Storm, but there's so little left of them. They're doing everything they can. Tempo Storm in this compound. Lambo's been found as your boy Dre tries to find the timing just right to peek over the edge, but the nade keeps him calm.
STK still just barely inside the circle. They've taken a ridgeline for now. And for them, they're just going to watch everyone else beat the living hell out of one another. A freak of freaks is gone. We're into the top 8. OP are the Rangers. They have to make a move now, but where really can they go? They'll have these little dips, these divots, but it's fine for STK. They're still in a prime position with an elevated line of sight to get kills. OPR, they're not doing anything. They're hoping that somehow they win this one out. They need to fight. They need to pick it up if they want to get those points.
Shoot to Kill are currently sat in 1st position. This is incredible work from them. CPT forced to hit the prone. They are trying to work their way forward here. 4AM, another big game from them could help out. Your boy Dre feels the Australian force coming out, but here we go. Purdy Curdy's just been engaged upon.
It's a decent tag from distance. He will be down. You'd expect them to have smokes to be able to get the res off there. NIP, I just see all the players turn on a pinhead and fixate towards them. The opposing North American force, Tempo Storm, they keep Incognito at bay. Incognito, I'm actually surprised they've managed to stay alive off of that mountain run. It was hell in a cell up there. 4AM still playing the passive game, waiting and holding that point. Actually, I'm going to be honest here, OPR, they're in the best position. They're not quite central map, but they have that essentially divot, the entrenchment that runs off the back of the road. They can just lay down and wait for all these fights to continue and then turn up with a 4-man stack and wipe out the remnants of who's left after all these battles have gone down. That's what STK need to be aware and be careful of, that they don't overcompensate and maybe get a bit too overzealous. That building can be taken out now. The wooden ones, you'll be able to blast it through with the bullets. That's not good cover at all.
Aerowolf have gone down. We're into the top 7 teams here. 4AM fighting for everything they can find. Shoot to Kill do at least have enough cover with the smokes put up to stay alive, but it doesn't feel like it's got that longevity, and there's so many compounds with vision towards this. Aerowolf 1 are engaging, and NIP could certainly see that too. 4AM have been gifted a drop. That's just coming in now.
Every single team that now goes down adjusts the points for the team above. It's not just the kills that are in play, they're replacement points as well. And that, I believe, is how OPR win this. I said it was going to be bad for them to wait back and hunker down, but I'll be honest, because of STK's position, it might work out. Really, what else can they do? They've stepped up, but it will probably come down to literally that final engagement, should both teams be the last remnants, and they've got the circle as well.
But you've got to think about Southern shift here, Rich, as well. Incognito and Tempo Storm, surely they go Southern side. I doubt they're going to run straight across in the east. I may be wrong. Feel free to try and change my mind on that. But that could potentially pinch in the Rangers. I don't know if they have enough cover from the other side, or if they're just banking on the crossfire they've created.
Oh, Uncivil.
Uncivil has found Gaxi.
Well, I know you wanted to make things fun, Brendan, but dropping 2 crits like that on 4AM is certainly the way to do it. STK, it's time to move. Uncivil +1 in the back of the vehicle. They get across. Have they managed to stay alive? No! Halo goes down. Uncivil somehow makes it there. He could get in here. Surely he could creep, unless the Rangers want to say, no, there's a grenade from across the wall. That's devastating for STK, a team you did not want to A, die to, and B, give more points to.
Skips it up in the air, fire comes in, Shoot to Kill trying to make the run. They seem like they are desperate, they're clutching at straws here, Rich. I'm so worried for their performance. It feels like they got gifted a chance, an opportunity, and they're so terrified now, and I don't blame them. You got 4AM being terrifying. Aerowolf have gone down, it looks like, as Sharky holds the line. This is that southeastern fight between Tempo Storm and Incognito. Insight is in real trouble. He has Sharky and Zampa really hot on his heels, but how long can they stay here?
I'm just going to throw something out there. For the teams that are over here, Tempo Storm, 4AM, once you've done off the back of this, really, where do you go? For Tempo Storm, they might play spoiler to the Rangers here. There's only one place to go, which is on the side of that road. If they do damage to the Rangers on arrival, this really opens things up and makes it scary for them.
Okay, let's look at where the teams currently sit, Richard, because Tempo Storm have now swept through on that southern side. That southeastern side is theirs. We have the fight coming to a conclusion in the west. Now we see north, east, and south. Tempo Storm are on the run. They're about to have to make their minds up where they go to. Oh, they just sent that car in. That's smart.
And again, now they know they're there, the game is basically given up. They know where Tempo Storm will be coming with, and it's a big, ooh, okay, another
nice
point.
Kill. Look at the first 2 places
there's nothing
right now,
that can be
Rich.
done now to OPR. That they basically, and they've still got the circle. They literally have an entrenchment. Tempo Storm can't get to them. There's no easy access to that.
No, there's not. Shoot to Kill look like they want to try and make it there, but they've used so much utility already, and we know that. The OP Rangers just need to peek up and down and get that fire through. They seem very cautious, very scared, and I don't blame them. There's a lot of firepower left on the map as we speak, but it's going to be very hard to dig the Rangers out of that trench.
For STK, they've already had a man knocked down. I'm just wondering where that grenade will go. So they've had a man knocked, and they've also had one confirmed. So they're certainly more damaged than what the Rangers are. Zampa.
Nice
Wait,
nade, nice nade.
Zampa's going for it. Zampa's sending it round behind. He's
Really
pulled the
nice
vehicle.
nade. Yeah, Zampa, they have to do something. The car explodes, but Zampa's made it for now, but he can't stay long. Zampa goes down. But has anyone else found the timing to try and engage? No, they're still standing tall here. 4AM are so distracted by shoot to kill that no one's going to be pushing towards the Rangers. They still hold the South.
Sharky last man standing for tempo. We'll see if he can do any damage, but honestly, as a one-man band, I'd expect them. They lost one, so it's kind of evened it out there during that engagement, so they've done some kind of damage here, but I honestly think 4AM, they will basically just crush STK's challenge here, should they want to try and move out. Adam's still outside the zone. If he wants to come in, he has to take a bullet or two.
Yeah, this is an unpleasant situation all around the board for shoot to kill. They need something. They need some big factor. The nade, is it good enough? Forever forced around the side, but Adam receives one back from Forever. The exchange, he's out of nades now. He has no other options left to try and do something. Forever finds it, and suddenly it's game on.
Purdy Curdy and Uncivil. Dangerous waters now. They can play out the back here of the little cabin that they've got, but 4AM,
they're on the move.
I mean, actually, we were kind of, we haven't really touched on them too much. A win here would send them up to at least 85 points minimum.
Let's see if they can get more kills. If they can do that, maybe there's a chance for 4AM to force a placement.
Oh, it's a 2-for-1!
What?
It's a 2-for-1!
Curdy, out of nowhere, finds two people with the nade. Surely he is not done just yet. How bad do you want to shoot? They're moving up. Can he do it? Oh, he just misses. Shoot to kill, count their lucky stars. Purdy Curdy on the run. He's aggressive, and it works. He takes down 4AM, and we're down to 3 teams.
Oh no, there is a response there. He was laying in the floor. Purdy Curdy gets one, answers back. STK goes down in third, but they grab 10 points before doing so, and I think that's it with the win.
They're up
Surely.
in first. They might have just done it here. That looks like it's theirs. And you can thank Purdy Curdy for that, as Sharky left in the 1v2 situation.
And I'm thinking, once this is all said and done, the Rangers should be jumping this with the placement, but we'll see and let the scores on the side confirm that. Still, 3 on the back here. We'll run this game through Sharky. 2 versus 1. Step up to the name of the beast that you've been so made out to be throughout the North American MPL.
Sharky looking for the first pixel to give him the angle. He knows where they are. Good tag on the first. Falls away, looks for a new angle to engage from. But DG98, smart play from him. Already looking towards the northern side of this, splitting it well. I see nades coming out, and Sharky knows he might be a little bit in a predicament. Forced further forward. Already splitting the circle. DG98 clears methodically. Has he spotted him?
There might be a scenario here where they literally need this kill.
I think they might do. Sharky, he can't do it. It's DG98. And I'm pretty sure the Rangers might have just pushed themselves back into that first spot.
This is coming down to the wire. We will get an absolute confirmation at the end.
Yeah, we're not messing around with these numbers. Because it wouldn't be right if it wasn't that close. Right to the very end. I can't believe it. We say this time and time again. We say it so often. How many times do we see the first position teams falling so quickly, and that top 5 just got destroyed?
If OPR have won this, it's going to be literally 1 kill, I believe. If not, they'll have just lost out by 1 kill.
It's 1 point different, I think. I don't want to sit here and assume it on the back of 1 point difference. Hold your breath, people, because this is down to the wire. The admins are confirming in the background. Everyone wants to ensure this is absolutely spotted, even the players. You can see they're happy, but they want to make sure as well. No one wants to guess. Everyone wants that 100% confirmation. We think with that first place, the kill, the Rangers should have done it, but you don't know, especially with shoot to kill so close by.
I can't believe that it's happened again. Not only was it so down to the wire, but all these teams that are within reaching distance just fall at the very last hurdle. Like, talk about keeping a tense situation. Speaking of tense, we are again awaiting that final confirmation. Everything is going through in the back. The admins are doing the final check, because this will literally come down to 1 kill. It might even be a point of literally getting the win plus Sharky.
I think we might know what could have happened here. We're going to wait a couple more seconds just to make sure. But you can tell how much this means to these players. Win or loss, an incredibly emotional time for them, giving everything they've got from the group stage to now. This has been a truly incredible story for the guys on your screen.
Tears of emotion, tears of joy. Again, the biggest winner that's been so far this week is PUBG Esports. Martin alluded to it on the desk. If there were ever any doubt of BR's in a competitive environment, with how close this has been, all those disbelievers have been proved wrong. I'm slightly lost for words at this point. Like, how I cannot believe that it's come down all the way to this. And there you have it then, ladies and gentlemen. We have final confirmation on screen. OP Gaming Rangers are your grand champions here at the Global Summit. Lauren, what an absolutely phenomenal performance they have put up this weekend.
I can't agree more, and this moment is all theirs. After the tears we saw from them, this has got to be one of the longest and best walks they're going to feel for a while. That group stage made me doubt what they could do, but these final stages has shown me what grit and determination and hard work can bring to the forefront.
The hammer's come down, and the Korean region fabricates its name not only into the trophy, but into PUBG Esports history at the inaugural PUBG Classic event here in London. We've had an insane crowd and an insane week of PUBG action. But there can only be one final team standing at the top of the hill. London, will you please put your hands together for your Global Summit champions, OP Gaming!
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Won Hee-cho, COO of PUBG Corp, Mick Atisani, co-founder of FACEIT, and Freya Spears from FACEIT. They will be presenting the medals to our champions, OP Gaming Rangers. And now I'm going to come over here because I need to speak to DG98. Now, you came into today as the leaders, but it looked like it might slip away from you. How did you bring it back together when it mattered most to take that chicken dinner and the trophy?
네, 나중에 이제 조금씩 다른 팀들이 오면서 어떻게 그 승리를 확신했는지 마지막에.
마지막에 일단 솔직히 원이 너무 힘들어서 사실상 반 포기한 상태로 최대한 천천히 앞에 있는 적을 밀어내면서 비긴 곳을 들어갔는데 이제 팀원끼리 마지막이다 보니까 말도 잘 맞고 생각도 다 똑같고 정말 다 같이 집중해서 얻을 수 있었던 결과인 것 같아요.
It was so hard for us, and we were pretty much giving up. But like we worked as a team, and it's really emotional for us. But we worked really hard.
You know what? I feel really emotional talking to you right now, DG98. And have you got any words for your region, Korea? Because you've done them all proud today.
한국에 대해서 이제 할 말 한국한테 할 말이 있나요?
제가 한국 오기 전에 저희 팬분들한테 런던 가서도 1등하고 온다고 했는데 그 약속 지켰고요. 앞으로 더 잘하는 모습 보여드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
I told my fans that I'm going to come first, and I came first, so I'm going to go back proud.
Well, I was about to ask if there was anything you'd like to say to the fans. Is there anything you want to add?
말하고 싶은 게 있는지.
I'm DJ98.
And finally, I need to ask, ultimately, what does it mean to be the first PUBG Classic champions?
마지막 이제 처음으로 PUBG 클래식의 승자가 된 그 소감.
일단은 제가 이번 시즌 PKL에서도 1등을 하고 이번에 페이스잇에서 처음 열린 대회까지도 1등을 했는데 앞으로도 저희 팀원들과 함께 또 세계 대회를 나와서 또 1등하는 모습을 꼭 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
Came first in the PK, and I also now come first in this FACEIT event, and I hope to come to many more international tournaments and win that as well.
Well, I feel like they wouldn't be the same without you, DG98. Congratulations, OP Gaming Rangers. This trophy is yours. And so is the honor and the glory of being the first FACEIT Global Summit champions. And to talk about how exactly that last blistering round went down, it's time to head back to the boys one last time on the desk.
Phenomenal scenes here from the FACEIT Global Summit as we have our champions. Ladies and gentlemen around the world, bow down to your new Korean overlords as OP Gaming Rangers have claimed themselves the championship here live from London. And what a way to round it out, getting themselves the chicken dinner at the very final hurdle.
The Odyssey, Pilgrim's Progress, Gulliver's Travels, and now the OP Gaming Rangers. Stories of epic journeys that will become legend. They came in #1 from their region. Everyone said they couldn't do it. They struggled. They went through the elimination phase and barely made it to the finals. Tooth, nail, they fought their way to the top, and they're living the dream.
And Avenger, overall, I think that they approached their final round in exactly the way they had to. Cautiously, confidently, collectively, and very, very calm about how they were going to take themselves the chicken dinner to make sure they became our global champion.
Just like they did in the PKL. What an amazing proof from them here. Being consistent is key, but taking the win here in the end is amazing. What an amazing tournament for these guys.
And it was so close, so down to the wire. We saw in that final round exactly when all of the big names did fall in that top 6 especially, and after every single one fell, OP Gaming Rangers stood strong down towards the south and were able to ride out the momentum effectively. It was very, very close, of course, Toffees, when you look at it, but OP Gaming Rangers throughout all of this even slightly came close to elimination in the sudden death round, but fortitude prevailed for the OP Gaming Rangers.
It was close. It's rare that we see a battle in truth for the final. STK, OP Rangers, whichever took the win there was gonna have the victory. STK even had the help of their brother club in Tempo Storm. Had Sharky clutched it, that would have gone to them as well. OP Gaming Rangers had the deck stacked against them, but when everything was laid on the table, they came out on top.
And on top of this, here in the start of the game, Cloud9 pushed onto Armory Game and ruined their dreams of taking the victory here. They were also one of the top 6 teams that were vying for the win here.
Yeah, definitely.
But Nerf here, he clutched it against Dogmans and shot the dreams down, and they went out in 16th out of 16.
I mean, it was almost destined as if it was meant to be. We saw so many of those big names falling early throughout this game. Team Liquid up towards the top on Everest got crushed from all sides. A very unfortunate position for them to find themselves in, but they were smashed by 3 strong squads on every single angle.
There were 6 teams in the mix to hoist the trophy, and every time one of them got a kill, everyone else responded as if blood had been spread in the water. Everest became a meat locker as bodies hit the ground one after another. They couldn't survive. 4AM dropped, Liquid dropped, OGN, Entis Force dropped, and all that was left was the two that have been grinding since the beginning, are one of our biggest earners during the group stages and one of our hardest fighters during the eliminations.
And let's be honest, Avenger, during all of this tournament, at the beginning, even though OP Gaming Rangers took the first seed out of Korea, people had their doubts. We had our doubts about if OP Gaming Rangers could step up on the global stage.
And they adapted through the group stages. They played it extremely well, made sure that they learned the meta, and they came to the grand finals and played their consistent game. Yes, we had some military game circles, but this is a trial by fire, and they played it so well, especially here in the last game.
What an MVP from Purdy Curdy here as he got the nades that stopped 4 AM in the tracks and honestly earned a spot, an extra spot for Europe.
Yeah, definitely. And all the spots very important. And these highlights were brought to you finally by NVIDIA. And let me tell you, there's some amazing stuff going on down there as well, because I can see the OP Gaming Rangers right now sat in confetti, throwing it up around the trophy. That's just absolutely splendid. There they are, the champions. How happy they must be. They walk away with $150,000 to their name, as well as that extremely heavy trophy that best of luck them getting back to South Korea.
We're probably going to ship it to them.
I think so. That's probably going to be the play there. I don't want to see nerds dropping a trophy and it all smashing to bits. That would be bad. But regardless, they've become the champions here. And as I mentioned, you know, Toffees, I had my doubts. You had your doubts. I think everybody had their doubts. I picked apparently the wrong Korean team to win this out, but OP Gaming Rangers did super well.
You know, when I went over the tapes when we heard who was coming from the league, and they stood out to me as someone who played very differently than the rest of the PKL.
Yeah.
They had almost a Western flavor to the way that they played. It took them some time to sort of find that adjustment and fine-tune it, but once they did, it was all uphill from there. Phenomenal play by them, and honestly, a good response and a good pulling themselves back up by their bootstraps, because I think they were very gutted after the group stages.
Let's confirm with the points exactly how OP Gaming Rangers have been able to make this happen, as it's 101 points up towards the top. South Korea will take the first extra regional spot going into the PGC towards the end. Shoot to Kill were able to rocket up there as well, taking second place with 97 points. So they get the NPL regional extra spot going in. And finally, Team Liquid in third place with 86 points on kill difference there against OGN Enters Force, as they will get an extra spot for the PEL, the European division of the PUBG Pro League as a whole. What an end, Avenger.
I'm sweating here. I gotta be honest. It's been such an amazing tournament, and coming into this last game, I was just sweating. I could throw all my clothes off, and it'll make the flat ball right now. But absolutely happy for Liquid. Also, they were also sweating a little bit towards the end. They overextended on the Mount Everest mountain, and all the teams just collided on them. And luckily for them, they got the few kills that mattered. They got a few kills to lock that in, make sure they were above Armory game. It's just 2-point difference. 2 kills. They got that in that match.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, it came down to who won the final game. How often does that happen?
Yes.
Yeah,
in order to win, it was Shoot to Kill or OP Gaming Rangers had to get the 10 points.
Yes.
So people have said with the new scoring system, kills are all that matter. It takes away the idea of Battle Royale, last man standing. But in this tournament, in this game, in this time, it truly was the essence of Battle Royale. The team that was left standing is the team that lifted the trophy.
I mean, it was splendid. It feels like a magical feeling, this tournament. We've been here for 6 days of gameplay. We watched the groups unfold. We saw as all of these teams butted head from around the world. Then we got to the sudden death stage, which adds even more severity to all of the situation. And now in the grand finals, where we had 16 of the teams in this final stage, which was the most stacked 16 teams we've ever seen. And it is even more exemplified by the fact that it was so close, Avenger, up towards the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely rare that we see this. I mean, 4 points, as you said it here, coming down to the win in the end. I'm happy to see it was this close. It was a nail biter of a tournament. But I can't wait to see what the next global, the actual global championship will bring, because it's going to be 8 more teams, 32 teams, and I can't wait to see how that's going to unfold and how these guys are going to do, and also how these guys are going to do when they come home to the league, because the momentum they're going to be bringing from this event and into the league, that's going to probably guarantee them going to the global championship.
They're swimming in clout. It's like Scrooge McDuck in clout right now. That said, these guys, I hate to break it to the rest of the world, but Korea has only been on primarily first-person perspective since a little bit after PGI. This is still relatively new to them, and they came out and dominated.
I mean, of course, OP Gaming Rangers have become our FACEIT Global Summit champions here. However, who is the MVP for the day, all important? I think a lot of us know who it is. It's a CPT, a moment that will go down in PUBG history. 4AM may not have been able to get into the upper echelons here of the final group and the final teams, of course, but CPT absolutely had the MVP.
There will be 4 tombstones on that special in the future. In future competitive games, we're going to see. It's going to be called, we're going to go to 17. This spot, this area is going to be called 17. There's going to be 4 tombstones with 17 numbers on them.
And that, I mean, it was one of those moments that affected the entire tournament, taking 17 down, pushing 4AM up, so they became a big part of the mix. And Orangel actually created sort of what we saw, which was this palava of 6 teams that all were fighting for position instead of sort of everyone against 2. It was absolutely phenomenal and was one of the biggest moments in the tournament and PUBG history.
I mean, that was 4AM's reaction. The reaction before it was the disbelief that 17 Gaming felt when their lives disappeared in a blip, in a moment there as they fell down.
It snapped to the ground and they were just like, what happened? And the lights turned off and
they were like, what?
What? Are we dead?
Did the server crash?
Yes. What happened? No, but honestly, this was insane. This guy will go down in history, and this moment will be immortalized.
But back onto the champions, of course, OP Gaming Rangers, and I think that them coming out of the region in PKL turned up furiously yesterday, and to be able to take the chicken dinner at the very end as well here to solidify themselves as the champions, it's very apt. It is very, very important that they take it in that fashion that they did.
Absolutely. I mean, it's where the game started. It's where the players have embraced it the most. It's the first time that I think FPS title has really gotten such a strong foothold in the region, and this can only help it grow from there. But what I love is that there were so many regions competing for that bonus slot, right? They came out on top, but we expected it might be kind of easy for the West. Like, let's be honest, there was that bias, and we're used to Western teams dominating, that they'd all get their spots, but it became a nail-biter. Everyone was in the mix, including smaller regions like Thailand, who impressed everyone in this tournament.
Very impressed by Armory Gaming here. Can't wait to see them going forward. Again, we've got to remember here, it's a stand-in playing for them. Han Boya, I mean, this guy was amazing. He was MVP once, and for the future, I think he's going to go in down history too.
Yeah, I think so as well. Obviously, Shoot to Kill and Team Liquid getting themselves 2nd and 3rd spots there. So again, an extra regional spot for both the MPL and PEL. Yeah. You guys have got to be happy. You represent NPL, you represent PEL, myself, I suppose, but I'm Korean fans. So you've got to be very content with this situation.
Obviously, I mean, coming into this, I expected ENCE to really show up here. Unfortunately, they went out, but they showed up in the show match. But again, Korea, in the top 6, 3 of those spots are Korean teams. I mean, this is insane. It really shows how strong this region has become and how much their hard work pays off, because these guys, they scrim constantly. They put 60, 70 hours into the game weekly. It's absolutely amazing to see OP Gaming Rangers to step up here.
Sure.
Also very impressed with Team Liquid. They're a team that if they hadn't spent the first 3 games in Pachinki sort of battling it out with 17, you got to think they probably would have come out on top of this whole thing and been hoisting the trophy themselves. So they didn't win this one, but it does give a massive glimmer of hope as we look forward to the next global.
Do you think there was moments early on in this tournament where a lot of the other teams may have underestimated the power that OP Gaming Rangers could eventually ascend to? Because they did not start off hot. It was not a great beginning for them. They went down to that sudden death stage, and they almost got knocked out during all of that, but they rose to the occasion. As the days went on, OP Gaming Rangers just seemed to get better and better and better.
I think like the tournament structure have kind of benefited them, being able to kind of train and warm up for the grand finals. And then obviously we had some military game circles and nothing to take away from that, but they played that extremely well, locking down the games, making sure that they're getting some kills, playing consistently and getting their placement points again and again and again.
I mean, to me, if you want to talk about the story of this tournament, Hey, let's look at the top two. This is a story of perseverance. This is a story of training. These are two teams in STK and OP Gaming that had really rough runs. OP Gaming barely made it out of eliminations. They were crushed. They were like, can we handle it? On the upside, STK had 1 point in 3 games. They got crushed. Even in the morning today, they struggled. And yet both of these teams, through training, through preparation, had the mental fortitude to come back, prepare, and win, and then ended up in the top 2. So I think that's a message to everyone that the good old days of just showing up and pubbing and playing and grinding isn't going to be enough. It's about the mentality you bring, not only to the tournament, but to the game and to the way you train.
And that in itself is a good message to end on, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, boys, for joining me here at the desk. And thank you, everyone else, for tuning in around the world as well. It's been an enchanting 6 days of PUBG action here at the FACEIT Global Summit PUBG Classic. And OP Gaming Rangers is able to stand tall at the very end of it. Thank you to all the crew, as well as all of our commentators, experts, interviewers, and even you guys over there as well. As we close the show here for the FACEIT Global Summit, OP Gaming has become your Global Summit champions.
Slow, 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 slow.